You're listening to the Whip Appeal Show hosted by MistressCandy69 from the BDSM Alive Radio Network. In Radioland. Today is Friday, July 1st, 2022, and Mistress is starting her show a few minutes late because, again, I was being called on the phone by an ex-submissive, being screamed and yelled at again, and I am not putting up with this fucking shit any longer. So yeah, I was a few minutes late. Sorry about that. Well, I must say, I'm not going to even talk about craziness anymore. It's almost July 4th. It's almost America's birthday, right? America's going to have a great birthday. People are going to be out celebrating. Whatever you do, please make sure that you do not blow off your fingers and toes or whatever you're doing. Kind of funny, right? But I must say, I'm pretty happy that the network is expanding. Mistress has decided to have Mistress Black Velvet come on to the radio show. She does a show on Sundays, bi-weekly, every other Sunday. She does a show about BDSM and kink and her type of dynamic lifestyle that she lives with her submissive. And kind of cool, bringing some new shows to the network. If anybody out there is listening to the show tonight and they would like to join the BDSM Alive Radio Network, you can send me an email. And basically, I'm looking for other mistresses and other submissives to kind of join the network. I'm trying to keep it kink-friendly. Or if you're a kinkster and you're kind of like, starting out with BDSM and you want to know like XYZ, then it would be a great time for you to join the network. So again, if you're interested in joining the network, you can hit me up at bdsmaliveradio@gmail.com, or you can private email me, MistressCandy1969@gmail.com, and you can put in radio show in the message box. So I'm sorry, Mistress just kind of got off on the wrong foot. I was 3 minutes late. Me and my ex-partner are still having some discrepancies. He was a little mad that Mistress was talking, or actually not talking. Somebody messaged me on Instagram, okay? A friend of both of ours. Haven't spoken to this individual in a while. And, a long time, like 8-9 months. And all of a sudden I got a message from this person with a YouTube link, so I clicked on it. It was him playing guitar, whatever. And basically, I'm kind of like, okay, why did he send me this link? And then 2 seconds later, in another message, he asked me for my ex-partner's phone number. So while I'm talking to my ex-partner on the phone, I guess this person is messaging and calling him, and, Cupcake is like, oh, well, funny. And I said, well, it's funny, I was going to tell you, but so he's accusing me of talking to this person who I haven't spoken to in 8 months, who decided to message me on social media. And then he's like, oh, you can't stop surrounding yourself with men. You know what? The last time I fucking checked, you told me 6 months ago I wasn't your fucking girlfriend and I'm not your mistress. So guess what? You really don't have the fucking right to tell me what I can and can't do. And if I want to talk to people on social media, I'm going to do it. Why? Because I'm no longer your fucking prisoner. End of story. Nobody fucking tells me what I can and can't do, especially an ex-boyfriend who breaks up with me 9 months or 8 months ago and then still expects me to kiss his fucking royal ass. I'm sorry, but I don't kiss anybody's fucking ass, and I'm sure as fucking hell not going to allow anyone to be in my good graces and ruin my fucking night, that's for sure. So, you know what, Cupcake? If you're fucking listening to the show tonight and you have any more fucking problems to deal with me, when we go to court, we can hash it out in court. You don't want to talk to me, but yet you want me to drop an order. Guess what? It doesn't fucking work that way, okay? It doesn't work that way. I am going to stick to my fucking guns, and I'm going to make sure that you pay for all the fucking things you fucking did to me. And Last time I checked, I wasn't your girlfriend, and you're fucking sure as hell not gonna sit here and tell me who the fuck I can and can't talk to. Again, a narcissistic scumbag. It's kind of funny. In tonight's show, I wanted to talk a little bit about narcissism. I met this lady today at the store who was telling me that her mother was narcissistic, her ex-boyfriend was narcissistic, and her ex-husband was narcissistic. And every single one of the stories she told me about kind of reminds me of somebody, actually. Kind of fucking interesting. And you know what's funny? Most people that you call a narcissist, they think they're not the narcissist. They think that they're the victims. But yet they're the ones that made all the problems to begin with. And they live their lives a double-edged sword, if you will. Do as I say, not as I do, right? That's like the scene to be the classic bullshit of narcissism. Oh, I'm going to do this in the relationship, but you can't do that. I want this done this way, but you can't do that. Again, I'm the fucking dominant. Nobody fucking tells me what I can and can't do. And I'm not going to have no sniveling fucking submissive telling me what I can and can't do when, one, you do not wear my collar anymore, and two, you are not in my fucking good graces. And then has the balls to complain that I'm smoking cigarettes. Well, guess what? If I want to fucking kill myself, I will gladly do it. I don't need someone telling me that I can't be smoking cigarettes while I talk to them on the phone. Seriously, get a fucking grip on yourself. Like, you must think that you're so fucking great that you can talk to people however you want to talk to them. Guess what? You ain't talking to me like that anymore. Any submissives out there that want to get in my good fucking graces, you ever top from the fucking bottom, you're going to be cut off at the fucking pass before you even get into my graces. Because believe me, I've seen so many red fucking flags, it's disastrous. I could literally flag down my own airplane field with how many fucking red flags I have. So again, I am not putting up with any more bullshit from anyone at all. And again, Mistress is going to have another cigarette right now. Why? Because that's what I enjoy most. And most of the submissives who actually listen to the show, a lot of people ask for smoking fetish. Kind of an interesting subject, right? Enough about the narcissistic piece of shit that I don't want to talk about him and have him ruin my fucking airwaves in the show and whatnot. And I'll tell you what, MistressCandy69 is not putting up with any more fucking bullshit. When somebody tells you they're not your significant other any longer, you don't have the right to tell them what they can and can't do. It's called moving on, moving forward, starting a new chapter in your life and leaving all the bullshit, dirtbag, garbage shit behind. So yeah, that's what I'm fucking doing. End of story. Oh boy, I swear. I don't know. I mean, I kind of want to do the show tonight, but I kind of don't. I'm kind of agitated. So maybe I'll do like a half hour tonight and then just kind of, you know. But anyway, back to the smoking fetish. So I've had submissives in my whole 32 years of being a dominatrix. No matter how needy they are with the smoking fetish, it's either they want to be tied to a chair and have a cigarette dangling out of their mouth, or having a mistress, a very powerful mistress like myself, sitting in a throne with a cigarette dangling from my mouth, waiting for one of you pitiful human ashtrays to come over and actually light the cigarette for me. Or I light the cigarette, I take a couple of drags, then I force you to smoke the cigarette. Smoke it to the point where you're sick. And usually the people who want the smoking fetish are people who are non-smokers, which is kind of interesting. They really enjoy watching women of authoritative figure smoke. You hear that bug that's like buzzing by the door? It sounded like a fart, but it's a beetle. Oh, a big June bug. It was like Mistress and her sound effects. So kind of an interesting, the smoking fetish. I've had smoking slaves in the past where I would be smoking at a party with other mistresses. And the submissives would come kind of kneel over by the side of us, and myself and the other dames would flick ashes in their mouth, or bring their face close so I can take a really long, like Pink Floyd, The Wall type ash, and ash it in their mouth and kind of make them close their mouth, and they would say, thank you, mistress, may I have another? So it's kind of an interesting subject, the smoking fetish. Then I have these people who want smoking fetish and foot fetish at the same time. So they want you walking barefoot in front of them while you're smoking cigarettes and using them as a human ashtray, or using them as a human footstool or human foot bath. Does anyone listening to the show understand or know what a human foot bath is? So it's like do-do-do, like the Jeopardy music, right? A human foot bath is somebody who is on all fours at all times, and they come over to the mistress or master, and they basically lick their feet clean. They take their tongue and they lick between each toe. They lick between the toes of all the women in the room. They take their warm, velvety tongue and lick from the sole up to the tip of the toes. They even toe sucking and various other forms of foot worship. Then you get these fellas, I see them on Instagram, talking about a foot and nylon fetish. A foot and nylon fetish is basically a foot fetish, but yet they like feet covered in nylons, right? So you're basically going to have nylons on feet, and people like to look at it, whether it's like shiny black nylons or tan or beige or nude for that matter. But some guys really enjoy just having the nylons on their private parts, like their cock and balls or, or their ass for that matter. This kind of goes along with the nylon panty fetish or the nylon foot and shoe fetish, or just a regular nylon fetish. Now, look, there's a fetish for everything, so what's yours? What's your favorite fetish? Mistress's favorite fetish is exhibitionism. I used to love cross-dressers, but quite honestly, I can't stand them all nowadays. The thought of them make me sick and repulse me to death. I mean, granted, I'll help and play with one if one should want to pay me for such services, but I don't think in my real life do I ever want another sissy or cross-dresser in my presence ever again. Quite honestly, I think I've been turned off by them. The ones that I've encountered in my life have all been fucking nothing but big juicy fucking headaches. I don't know. In my past shows, I've always talked about cross-dressers and fetishism and transvestites. These type of people, people believe that cross-dressers have mental problems. I'm kind of 99.9% sure that I agree with a lot of the things that I've read online about people with cross-dressing tendencies. Most of them are mental patients, and I hate to say it, but it's the truth of the matter. I've never met a cross-dresser or a sissy that was absolutely normal. I really have to say that. It's always the complete opposite. So, Mistress, of course, doesn't really care for those types of individuals. Matter of fact, most of my phone sex listings in the past I used to do with sissies and cross-dressers, and really nowadays I'm not really interested in them. They kind of sicken me to some degree. But I would definitely love to help a sexual deviant find out if they are a deviant or they really have a sexual appetite. Because there is a big difference between deviants, too. A deviant is somebody who does something and doesn't care about the acts or consequences afterwards. That's a deviant. Somebody who is a sexual fetishist